Don't let old suspension parts ruin the quality of your ride. I'm going to show you how to replace the rear shock absorbers on a 2008 Nissan Frontier. These have close to 200,000 miles on them, and they've completely blown out. You can see when I hit reverse going very slow, the bounce in the rear end is absurd. When you hit a speed bump or any sort of bump, or just wiggle the back, it bounces and it doesn't stop. It keeps rebounding. This vehicle came stock with Bilstein shocks, so we're going to get some OEM ones to replace them. I hit the 2 bolts that hold the rear shock into place with some penetrating oil. I used my 17mm socket to loosen this top bolt. It was not very tight. I just wanted to make sure that it would come loose, but I left it on. Now I'm going to work on the bottom. The bottom is extremely tight. I needed 2 19mm ratchets to remove the bottom bolt. We will be getting a new nut on this bolt, but reusing the same bolt. Put that to the side. With the bottom of the shock absorber free, I'm just gonna remove the nut the rest of the way, that 17mm up top. Now I'm wiggling the shock off the top bolt. It's 2 different kinds of fittings. You can see this one has a rubber bushing in it, and the bottom is gonna be metal on metal contact. In the mountains of Colorado, we don't really have to worry about things rusting together, but I am going to spray the inside of the top of the shock with some silicone lubricant just to make installation even easier and hopefully keep it somewhat lubed up in there, even though it'll probably dry out pretty quick. So I'm going to place that on, and then I'm going to use the new 19mm nut included and the old washer oriented the right way. You can see how it's kind of dished towards the nut. Be sure to replace the nut with the new one included. This 17mm is torqued down to 33 foot-pounds of torque. Now you can see this bottom fitting. I am going to put a little bit of what I got laying around for this bottom fitting, even though I don't think you need to put anything on it. I think it should be protected from wear enough with the coating on it, but I am going to put a little bit of white lithium grease on the bottom, hopefully preventing any corrosion. Again, the top's just snugged up. Now I'm going to compress this shock and let it fall into place. It's a little bit of a difficult procedure. You might need to use a jack if you can't quite do this by hand. And I'm just kind of letting it drop down into place while still compressing it with my arm. And then I'm going to slip that bolt. It was pretty difficult, but I did get it done in a couple minutes. And then once you got it kind of through the eyelet of the axle there, I had to use the jack and actually manipulate the axle to actually get the bolt fully through. You can see the shock being compressed just a little bit, and it relieved just enough tension so that I could put the bolt fully through. I could put it enough to hold the shock where it was so I didn't have to compress it with my arm, but to actually get it fully seated, I have to use the jack, and you can see I'm just tapping it so lightly with the hammer. I'm not messing up the threads by doing it, but I'm just kind of getting it into place. Now I'm going to use the new 19mm nut that was included with the shock. It's 148 foot-pounds, so I had to use another ratchet braced against the axle to actually get this torqued down to spec. I couldn't use both arms, being that I'm on the ground without a lift. This is how I ended up doing it. Propping that ratchet against the ground, getting it off, and then I double checked it, even though you're supposed to torque the nut, but I did check it on the bolt side just to make sure it got tight enough. I'm okay tightening this down a little bit extra. I don't want it coming loose. Now it's on to the other side. The other side was a little bit more difficult to film because of the spare tire, so that's why I got more in depth on the other side. But now I got this one loosened up. I'm wiggling it off, and it's the same 17mm bolt up top, 33 foot-pounds, and 148 down below on the 19mm bolt and nut combo. The old one is out, the second old one, doing the silicone lube on the top. Just hoping it doesn't dry out. And then the white lithium on the bottom bolt with the nut. There's the new hardware and the old washer. After those were torqued up, I couldn't push down on the rear end anymore like I could. Here's the old shock. It's so blown out. It behaved so weird when I pushed them in. It kind of like really gave away, and then I had too much resistance. It's just completely blown out. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment. Any additional links will be provided in the video description.